Let's talk about how HSC subject scaling works and why it actually matters for your ATAR. First up, what's scaling? It's when your HSC marks are adjusted based on the difficulty of your subject, as well as how well other students perform in it. For example, if the average mark in Maths Extension 2 is 65 and Maths Advanced is 80, is it really fair to compare the two? Well, the answer is no, because Maths Extension 2 is a much more difficult subject that usually has stronger students. Now, what does this actually mean for your ATAR? Well, let's say you get a HSC mark of 80 in Maths Extension 2. This would scale up to an 85 with an ATAR equivalent of 97.65. Now, if we compare this with an 80 in Maths Advanced, you can see that the scale mark has a difference of almost 25, and the ATAR equivalent is much lower. If you have any more questions about how scaling works, leave a comment below, but for now,